So, hi to all beautiful mothers out there. This is going to be a very interactive session, and I'll be asking you questions. They are very easy questions. So, let me ask you something. Children do not need toys. Mothers, what do you think? Type yes or no in the chat box below. Thank you so much for typing your responses. So, before I begin with the session, let me introduce myself. I am Nidhi, founder of Nino's Out of School Club, and by qualification, I am an early childhood educator. Can you guess, mothers, and tell me which city I live in? Let me give you a clue. I live in a city where most stars live on the land rather than up in the sky. Can you guess? Yes, it's Mumbai. Thank you for joining in for today's session. We will be looking at different everyday household items and understand why they are the best toys for children to explore, engage, and educate. When I'm referring to children, that's for the age group of 1 to 5 years. And during the session, I will be talking about children like two age groups. One is young children, which is 1 year to 2.5 years, and preschoolers, which is 2.5 years to 5 years. Nowadays, the message for everyone is very clear: stay at home. And currently, the child's playground is his or her home. They entirely have a homebound routine. But mothers, what do you think? Can't they hone their skills like fine motor, gross motor, social, emotional, then sensory? Please type your answer in the chat box. Absolutely right. It's yes. Mothers, you must be feeling like you're running a school at home and you are the child's teacher, looking for activities to educate and engage your child. And these should be in constructive ways. And I absolutely understand sometimes it is like challenging and overwhelming. But every cloud has a silver lining. So let's look at these simple household items like sieve, baking soda, vinegar. This bottle has vinegar in it. Then sellotape, cotton balls, then beans. Here I have rajma, kidney beans. You can use different types of beans. Then plastic bottle. These are empty bottles which are like reusable. Then you have different types of bottle caps. Then cardboard box. And what else? I think so the list is endless. Why don't you add to this and maybe write few household items, like these simple household items which you think the child can use in an activity, or you can give it to the child for doing an activity. Oh wow, I can see the responses are coming like spoon, bowls, newspaper. Excellent. Oh, wow, vessels, serving spoons, vegetables for recognition. Excellent, very good. Keep going. So now we have to look at these objects, like these items, with fresh eyes, curiosity, and creativity. How will these things would help children to hone their skills and to engage them? So here I will just share few examples which would give you a better insight and help your children hone their skills. So first one is gross motor skill. So gross motor development means where the child's like there's a development and strengthening of the large muscles of the arms and of legs. And this also helps them to release their pent up energy. So here I'll just share an quick activity. So I like you require a sellotape or maybe a brown color one. The masking tape will also do. And you have to stick this tape from one end of the room to the other, or maybe between two pieces of a furniture, but it should be at a height where the child is able to reach out. So either the child jumps and then able to stick it, or the child is able to stretch his hand and then able to reach out. So I'll just demonstrate and show you here. So I am holding two rulers. So just think that these are the two ends of the room, maybe, or two pieces of furniture. And I have already stuck a sellotape on it, a masking tape. And the sticking part has to face downwards. And it should be at a height, like where the child can either jump and then stick these cotton balls. So this is a very good activity which engages the child in and helps in the development of gross motor skills. And to know more about this activity, you should check out the day 20 video which is uploaded on Nino's Out of School Club Facebook and Instagram page. Science exploration. This is a very good activity for preschoolers, which is from 2.5 to 5 years, because they are independent enough to do this activity. So for this activity you require vinegar, baking soda and water. So first thing, you require two transparent glasses. It's important that you like give it to the child transparent glasses so that they can see what is happening. They can watch and then they can observe. So the child has to put approximately 1/4 cup of vinegar in one glass and 1/4 cup of water in another glass, and then 1 teaspoon of soda in each glass. So mothers, can you guess what's going to happen? There would be a chemical reaction in one of the glass. So let the child observe and see, and for children it's magic. So the vinegar and soda would have like a volcano, like kind of a fizzy and volcano kind of a effect, and children just love it. And the water and soda would have no reaction. So to know more about this activity, you should check out day 17 video which is uploaded on Nino's Out of School Club Facebook and Instagram page. Now moving on to language development or vocabulary development, to be saying it better. So you can just give them like few play props. So what I've done, I have taken a basket, or you can even take a handbag and just give them props like hat or scarf or like sunglasses. So put these all play props in a bag or like a basket like this. So for young children, they have to pull this out like one play prop at a time, and they have to say the name of these objects. For preschoolers, you can increase the complexity of the activity by telling them that they have to label, like name each object, then describe the object, and maybe like create some stories around it. I think that this is a very good way for them to express and plus to learn new words. And do check out video number 3 to get a better understanding of this activity, which was uploaded on Nino's Out of School Club Facebook and Instagram page. Now moving on to visual discrimination. What do you mean by visual discrimination? So that's basically the ability of the child to recognize or to identify the differences between two different objects or two different things. So for younger children, what you can do is like it's a sorting activity. So for younger children, in a plate, just put in like different pairs of socks. And what they have to do is they have to match the pairs. Is it same? No. So let me look for it. Okay, yeah. So the child has to match the pairs. This is a good one for younger children because even if they put it in the mouth, it's absolutely safe. But for preschoolers, what you can do is just mix different beans. So I have put in like coffee beans, I have put dry corn, white peas, then rajma beans, and chole. So the child has to do sorting, put it in each different containers or different plates. And you should watch the day 8 video to get more details about or to get more about this activity. Another one is tactile stimulation. Children love playing in sand, and you can create the similar experience at home using dry rice or uncooked rice. I saw in one of the comments one mother has mentioned about it, that you can even use rice. So I have taken this plastic container, I have filled in the rice. You can even fill the rice till the rim of the container, and this just add in objects like maybe button or coins or maybe even crayons or beans, and then just cover it up like this. Child can't see it, and then child has to look for it. But it's very important when young children are doing this activity, it has to be under the parental supervision. The reason is they can put this uncooked rice in their mouth. But for preschoolers, absolutely they can do this activity by themselves. Mothers, these are just like few activities, like I would say like a icing on the cake. You should watch, like follow us on Instagram and Facebook, Nino's Out of School Club page, because there are more than like 20 videos uploaded, and each video has 4 activities using the everyday household items. And these are like very simple activities, just it takes you 5 minutes to set it up, and the child can be engaged for a longer duration or will be involved for a longer duration. There is another thing which children love doing, I'm sure, like I can see it in the chat box, is, or how about mothers, do you want to share any activity which you think you can do it with your child at home, or you've been doing it with your child, in the chat box below? I can see the comments are coming in. Wow. Yes, you do treasure hunt. Nice, Amrita. For counting, Sunita uses different pulses. Excellent. Making shadows with hands. Oh wow, that's very nice, very creative. Hide all toys under the towel and ask the child to pick up a toy and name it without seeing it. Excellent, very nice. I think so. I'm getting inspirations from you all, mothers. Wow, this is so amazing. And I'm going to include these activities for my students too. So, moving on, and thank you so much for typing on your responses. These are just like a few examples which I shared, but there are other ways also you can involve your children in daily household tasks, which would help them to practice their key life skills. And plus, they become more responsible and self confident. But it's important, mothers, that we don't like these tasks are not like punishment for children, but it's more fun. And it's obviously that they would not do it perfectly. It would require a lot of practice for them to master the skill. And appreciation and encouragement are, I think, so the best pills for children. Whatever they do, even a small bit of it, it's important that we encourage them, we appreciate them. So now, when we think of a daily task, do you want to write what kind of a daily task which we can involve the children in? Nice. Water play with strainer and balls. A lot of painting and coloring activities with strainers. Okay, so thank you so much for typing your responses. I can see you all are actively listening. That's so good to know. So now involving them in simple daily household tasks like laundry. So in laundry, it's like they are putting the clothes in the washing machine, they are taking out the wash clothes, they are drying the clothes, putting in the cloth pin, which helps them in pincer grasp, then folding the clothes. Then yes, one of the mothers have mentioned here brooming and mopping. Absolutely right. I think the children love doing it. But sometimes some mothers do have this concern of like hygiene or their safety. So what I do, yeah, for my students, I have bought these like small dustpans and broom, which is easy for children to hold it and to do the activity. And my children love, like the students love doing this during the activity time. Then another thing which children love doing is you can involve them in like love doing is washing utensils, which I would call it like water play. And children love water play. They can play for hours and hours in water. I know mothers, do you agree with me? So you can give like for younger children, you can tell them to wash their own maybe spoon and plate after they finish eating the meal. For preschoolers, they can obviously wash the utensils, dry the utensils. They can even set up the table before the meal and then clear up the table after the meal. Making their own bed before they go off to sleep. And then obviously when they wake up, they make their bed again. These are like small things, but for children, like it's a task and they enjoy doing it and they're learning so many things. Write in the chat box about any daily household items or activities which you involve children in. I can see brooming and mopping. Is there anything else which you think I've missed out and can be where the children can be involved in? Oh, yes. Thank you so much for these wonderful responses. I could see it. Wow. So there's another thing which the children can be involved in is kitchen. It's absolutely like a new and a big world for children. So when you involve them in kitchen, it helps them in honing their fine motor skills. So first thing is they start knowing different types of vegetables and fruits and even grains. And then plus they once either like you if you cut the vegetables and you show them, so you can discuss with them like how the vegetable looks out from outside, how it looks from inside, how many seeds are there, whether there's no seeds, how do you cook the vegetable, how is the taste. When these kinds of things happen, and plus when you're discussing with your child and you involving them in preparing the meals, they feel a part of it and they want to eat it. And I think so that's the best part, when they start appreciating food. And this is something very important. So these are simple tasks and which are absolutely safe, which you can do with your children at home in your kitchen. First is plucking the green leafy vegetables like spinach, mint, red amaranth, or any other green leafy vegetable. And children would do it. And first thing what happens, it helps them in development of pincer grasp, which is very important for good handwriting. Then another thing which they can do is chopping. But you must be thinking, giving them a knife. You can give them a blunt knife and give like soft vegetables like cucumber or tomato, which is easy to chop. Then another thing, what do you think we can give them in? It would be like churning the lassi or buttermilk like chach with a rawai. So this children would love doing this, and this helps them like strengthening their palm muscles. That's another thing which they can do. Then mashing. So mashing the boiled potatoes either with their fingers or with using a masher. Then what else, mothers? Can you type in the chat box, because I can see, oh wow. Absolutely right. Tries rolling chapati, which is so amazing. And even you can give them to knead the dough. Obviously, it would be sticky and little watery initially, but I think so with practice, they would master the skill. Then grating. So it is important that they can do the grating activity, but we have to keep in mind that the grater is not very sharp. So they can grate like carrot or like cucumber, beetroot, radish, and then make a lovely colorful salad out of it. Yes, there's one of the mothers who've written like peel onions. Yes, that's a very good activity for children. Then peas skin removal. Yes, that's nice. So peeling the skin of boiled potato or removing, shelling out the peas. I think these all are like like very good activities which you can engage your child on a daily basis. Now let's step out and see what's happening. So when we look out of our house, Mother Nature has so many things to offer for children to explore, like dry twigs or dry leaves, flowers. There are so many plants around, and even on on the bark of the tree, child can just like put a paper and take a crayon, and they do imprinting, and children would love doing something like this activity. And you can even do like flower painting. They can look at different types of leaves, try doing tracing the leaves, putting it on a paper, and then with the crayon just scribble on it, and they would get an imprint of the leaf on it. They can create beautiful cards for their loved ones, or even gift wrapping papers, and leaf imprinting, flower imprinting. There are so many things. And if you have a kitchen garden at home, or like a terrace garden at home, or even if not, if you have a common garden in your building, so the child can be involved in like watering the plants, or like sowing the new seeds, or even like chopping in. At times the gardeners do that, no, chopping, but obviously you have to supervise that, because if it's very sharp knife, the scissors, it may hurt the children. So they can do that. Or they can even like create some biogas kind, wherein they are collecting all this and putting in to create a biogas. So these are small concepts where the children are being introduced, so that they get familiar with it, and maybe once they grow up they are able to do it by themselves, or it remains in their memory. We are laying a strong foundation for them. This is a question where most of the young children, like mothers, ask me is they want to introduce watercolors to their children. So, and they are like young children would put things in their mouth. So, how will you do this? How would you introduce watercolors for children? I feel you can do that, and it's very easy, and it's something which is available in your kitchen. I'm just giving you a hint. So you can use turmeric for yellow color. Just add little water and make it of a medium consistency, and dab in like cotton, so they can do cotton painting or sponge painting. For green color, you can use spinach puree. For red color, beetroot puree. And even if children are putting it in their mouth, it's absolutely safe. And I know mothers, you'll be more than happy, because ultimately they're eating vegetables. And plus, there are no skin allergies and nothing. And these are natural colors, and they are homemade. Mothers, you must be wondering that once you give them these materials to engage them, but they just do it for a short while and then they are distracted. So here I will just share few tips which would help you to engage your child for a longer duration. So first thing is important is to create a designated play area for your child. So that, and how would you do that? Like you would have like a specific area where the child knows the child has to play. But now you would question me, the child doesn't understand this thing. So yes, it would take time for them. But for younger and for preschoolers, you can share concrete examples. Like the mom cooks food in the kitchen, and you take bath, or everyone takes bath in your bathroom, not in any other room. So for everything there is a specific space in the house. So this is your area where you can play. And then plus there should be a sense of belongingness for the child. So you can display the child's work and other things, whatever they are making, and maybe arrange in the way they want, involve them in, so they would feel this is their own space. And what you can do is suppose if they are messing around the place, or you feel like it's too much to clear up the mess, so either you can put like bed sheet below, like on the floor, or you can put plastic sheets which are washable, so it's easy for you to clear up the mess. Another time, this I think was a very good time for children to involve in independent play, which is like solo play, as there is less social interaction. And children are homebound, they don't have any schedule, like a tight schedule to follow, and like going for birthday parties or to school or attend classes or play dates. So what is happening, the child can actually explore his or her environment at his or her own pace and would have enough time. And there's another thing that children always like is uninterrupted child-led play. So when you give them these materials, just give it to them. Demonstrate how to do these things, activities. But let them do their way. Because first thing, you allow their creativity to freely roam around, like flow freely. And plus they get more engaged in. They want to, because they're doing it by themselves. So they want to do it in different ways. And there are no set rules when you give them these materials to play. They can do it the way they want. And you will see that the child is engaged for a longer duration, because first thing, they are actively participating in. They are not like a passive learner. Plus they are getting hands-on experience. So these are like very important things which would help the child to stay in for a longer duration doing the activity. And when I say uninterrupted play, what happens is, at time when the child is playing, we just think that, oh, the child is playing, so we would like to feed the child that time, or we would like to change his clothes, his or her clothes. But I want to ask you mothers this question: when you are cooking food in the kitchen, or when you're working in the office, would you like disturbance? As adults, we are very vocal. We would say, okay, I would take another 15 minutes to finish this office work, and then I would speak to you, or I would do this work. But as children, they are not able to say that. And we don't think that, we as adults, at times, we are not able to understand that for children, play is their serious work. If we give them enough time and we do not disturb them, they would be engaging in for a longer duration. And for children, less means more. They don't need too many materials to play. At times they would love something and they just want to repeat it again and again. As adults, we may get bored. We will think, oh, he's been playing with this. He was playing yesterday also and he's playing today also. But children just love repetition, and let them do that because they would master the skill. Until they give up or they lose interest, let them keep indulging in that same activity if they enjoy doing it. These are few tips which would help your child to engage for a longer duration. And as a parents, it's also important that let us wait and observe. Means for me, when I see my students indulging in an activity, it's like a treat to my eyes. I would just sit quietly and observe what they are doing until they ask me anything. And they would love it and they want to express and they want to show. That's where I like, they are getting that opportunity to express rather than me asking them too many questions. And sometimes, yes, if they are stuck somewhere, then we try, like I try to lead them so that they try to get the solution to the problem and then overcome it. Let them figure out the way of the, like the problem or to the solution. Let them see how they can do it and they are capable enough to do it. So there's a, like when I say let them discover and explore, so let me give you a concrete example. So suppose if you give children like preschoolers red color and green color and they want to mix the color, or so instead of telling them that it's brown color, so let them just do it and maybe they come up with the idea and they say, oh, this looks like chocolate. That's absolutely right. Yes, it looks like chocolate and it is brown color. So when I remember one of my student, he would mix up the green color and he would always say that, oh, this looks like the green dosa. He used to eat the mung dosa every alternate day. So he would compare it with that. So, and that's absolutely right. And then I would say, yes, and this is green color. Mothers, If you have any questions, before I go ahead, if you have any questions, feel free to write in the comment box and then I'll start replying, answering the questions. I'm getting few questions even on WhatsApp. So one of the mothers have written, my daughter get bored very quickly with her toys and demand for new. So how to make her busy? So as Archana I've already answered, but still I will just tell you in brief. So first thing is whenever let them do one activity for short time and then maybe you move on to the next activity only when the child gives up the interest. And then maybe the child would like to do that same activity after some time. So sometimes what happens when the children are not familiar with certain objects or certain material, so they may take time to get familiar or to understand how to use it, and then they will enjoy using that or enjoy playing with it. So let them just maybe do one activity, they get bored, then move on to the next, and then try reintroducing that same activity. They may enjoy doing it. One of the mothers have asked, my baby is 20 months old, and he is getting bored with toys very soon. After that, he gets irritated and demand for more interesting things and how to deal with it. So when you think that your household items are the best toys for your children, then you would start looking for different ways to engage your child using those. Instead of looking for toys from the market, there are a lot of ways which you can do it. That's why, and I would suggest you to watch the videos which are uploaded on Nino's Out of School Club Facebook and Instagram page, because there are like 80 activities to involve children in, and it just takes you like 5 minutes to set up the activity, and the child can be engaged for a longer duration. And obviously, keeping in mind few things, not to disturb the child while they are doing the activity. Let them involve in, let them express rather than we are telling them what it is. Let them look for the answers, let them explore. One of the mothers have asked, could you please suggest such activities and things which enhance cognitive uh, development? So yes, there are various activities which you can do it, and there is no anything which is specific that one activity will only help in one development. You can't compartmentalize; they are all interconnected. So for cognitive development, you can try doing like language related activity, which I've already shown one demonstration in this live session. And there are other ways, either you can label the objects in the house, like you can label the fridge or television, so which helps in sight vocabulary. So child is seeing that again and again, and which would start remembering or start identifying it. Or that's one way of doing it. Second is telling stories to the child, and then telling the child to create stories. That also helps in cognitive development, like they start imagining things, imaginative skills. Or another way is like once they come back from, like they have a good experience, maybe like from a birthday party or something, so tell them to draw or express. So this also helps in cognitive development, language plus cognitive development. One of the mothers have asked, uh, her daughter is 5 years old and her school curriculum demands her to write, but she is not interested in writing or reading. So, first thing is you can look for different ways. So, helping in writing could be you can give her sand, like either you can give rice or if you have sand. So, they can first write alphabets with her, she can use her fingers. Then you have to give different mediums where she can write. So, that would be more interesting. And then slowly you move on to writing her, like she can write in the book or on, do her worksheets. You can even give her clay. So, if you don't have clay right now, you can use dough, like atta, gehu ka atta, like, and that she can use it like as a dough, and then she can make different alphabets or with different beans on the sheet. If you could just write one alphabet and she has to arrange the beans on it. So these are different ways, and then you move on to her writing skills. So sometimes what happens is when their finger, like fine motor skills or their finger muscles are not developed so well, they don't want to indulge in writing skills. They don't find it very interesting. A lot of parents have concern about children getting exposed to like too much of screen time. So first thing I think, so we are the role models. If we reduce our screen time and don't spend too much time on gadgets, so even the children will not do it. And plus you have to involve children in these different kinds of activities. So best ways to involve them in daily chores. So either you can have like a little flexible schedule, like they know, okay, morning they get up, they have to do this, they have to help in the kitchen, then it's their playtime. And at the same time it's important to focus on the playtime, highlighting it. It's not about like just saying okay the child is playing. We have to, as adults, it's important to understand that for child, like play is his work. And once you have like a routine and a schedule, and then have a little time for gadget also, like, and then slowly you can start weaning that off, like the child can stop uh, using too much of gadget and then get involved in these different kind of these activities. And plus they require hands-on experience, because until they don't get hands-on experience, their different skills would never develop well. So, mothers, thank you so much for asking so many questions, and it shows that you are enjoying and listening to the session attentively. So, now moving on ahead. So, there are these four key takeaways. First thing is, you can always remember it with the acronym KIDS. So, KIDS is like K, kitchen time. So, allowing the child to explore in the kitchen, keeping in mind obviously the safety, and giving them hands-on experience. Second is independent play. So the child has now a lot of time to indulge in solo play and to explore the environment at his or her pace, because they become more self-confident, they are exploring, they are observing things, which helps them a lot. Then D, which is development of various skills, which can still be done even if they are not going to school. These simple daily tasks only helps them to hone their these various developmental skills. And it's important that they have a specific play area. It's exactly the way we have kitchen to cook our meals, we have a bathroom to take bath. So that way they should have a specific play area. It doesn't mean they need to have a big room or something, but a play area where there's no disturbance. The child can play at his or her own pace, can explore things, and let the child do that, because then that's when the child's creativity starts flowing in. And this all takes time. It's not something which is like overnight you would see a change, but we'll have to wait patiently, and definitely there would be a lot of change. And mothers, there are tons and tons of ideas on internet, and at times it is overwhelming. So to simplify your work, what you can do is You can watch our videos, like there are these small bite videos which are uploaded on the Ninos Out of School Club Facebook and Instagram page, and which you can watch at your convenience, and these are very useful resources which would help you all. And thank you so much for listening to this session so patiently and asking questions. And I would still answer the questions which are just popping in the comment box. And I would like to thank First Cry for giving me this such a wonderful opportunity and reaching out to so many wonderful parents and mothers. I can still see a few questions which are just coming in the chat box. One of the parent mother has asked, my child knows how to write, but sometimes he writes alphabets in wrong direction. So any suggestion? This would only come with practice. So maybe you can introduce by showing different words to the child and in different ways. So either what I'd mentioned, you can label certain objects or certain things in the house and then show the child these alphabets. So with observation, the child would start learning, and this would give some time for the child to change, like start writing the alphabets in proper directions. One of the parents has asked what activities are good for 2-year-old. So there are many activities which you can do with 2-year-old, and there are different ways. So that's why I would suggest you to watch the videos which are uploaded on our Facebook and like Ninos Out of School Club Facebook and Instagram page. There are tons and tons of activities, and these are like very simple activities which you can do with your children. And obviously you can always modify it just to get an inspiration to do the same or similar kind of activities. Um, One of the parent have asked this question is, my child is 4 year old and has a very good memory but do not like to sit at one place and do one thing. Her concentration power is like very weak. So if you remove these distraction and when they are involved in doing any one activity, let them just solely do that. At times as adults we try to interfere, and then they get so used to with that thing that they would not be able to concentrate. So once and this would come with practice, so with like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then with time they can start, he can then stay in for a long time. Like I know few of my students who would like play, they are like 2 years 3 year old, and they can play at a stretch for like 2 hours or for 1.5 hour if they are not being disturbed, and all material what they want. They would in between obviously like to express and share what they are doing, but then they can continue playing for longer duration. So I'll just end this session. So thank you so much. Thank you First Cry for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And thank you out all the mothers. And if you feel like, you can definitely reach out to me through my Facebook and Instagram page for either like one-on-one sessions or for group sessions.